Review this task of getting your dry canyon watershed set up so that you're ready for doing the modeling when we begin classes again on Wednesday when we do that lab. So I've started WMS. If you have your own project, you should be able to open it up and be ready to go. If you're still struggling with that project, this video will review those steps, and then you can make sure you're at that point when we begin our lab on Friday. So I'm going to go to the hydrologic modeling wizard, and then I'm going to save a project name. So I'm going to come and I'm going to save to my J drive. I'm going to make a new folder, call it Dry Canyon. Hope I haven't done one before. Oh, looks like I have. So let's rename that to Dry Canyon 2. Alright, we'll come in there and I'm going to make the project name also Dry Canyon. Alright, so we'll save that and save. And then I'm going to choose next. I'm going to make sure that I'm in UTM zone 12. You can come in here to set the projection. If it's not set up, it's under projected coordinate systems, UTM. Expand that. Go down to NAD 83 and UTM NAD 83 zone 12. Okay, also make sure that your vertical units are in meters. Okay, then I'm going to choose define the boundary. First time you run it on a computer, you might remember that it gives a little bit of a trouble. So I'm going to say OK and then choose define the boundary again. Now it'll come up. I can search for Logan, Utah. You have to choose the jump to search location. And if you remember, our Dry Canyon is right in here. That should cover it like that. I'll say OK and choose next using our web services. And next. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and download the elevation data. I'm also at this time going to get the StatsCo data and the land use shapefile data as well. I'm going to go to something about 10 meters at this size. So since I can afford to do that, you might be around 30 meters resolution. Takes a minute for that to download, and now it's going to grab, I think, the land use file and then the StatsCo shapefile. And it's updating the display now. There we go. So now I should have loaded in, if I zoom to this layer. Okay, I'm going to turn off the TIFF now for that point. Okay, so let's just choose next, and I'm going to leave that on at about, I think we decided about 1/4 of a mile was a good resolution there. Whoops, I have to compute topaz. So that's run now, and this should be our Dry Canyon right in here. So if you're not sure, you can always add the GIS map. I'll put the world topography map in the background, and if you zoom in on this point right down here, you'll actually see in the imagery the existing detention basin that's been defined. So I'll turn that, well, let's go ahead and establish the outlet point somewhere down here where that exits. And now I'll turn the world imagery off so we can see what's going on next. And we'll delineate the watershed. There we have it, about 3.65 square miles. Okay, so we'll choose next. At this point we'll initialize the HEC1 model. I'll choose next, and our start date, I want to set this up for a 2-day simulation is what I suggested before. So this, if this goes from 11/19/2019, we'll put 11/21, set it at a 10-minute time interval, set job control, choose next. And remember, on the soil shape file you need to join the NRCS data in order to have the hydrologic soil group attached to it. So we'll run that, and then we'll go ahead and create the land use and the soil coverages. You can automate it from here. Again, many of you have probably already finished this, but in case you haven't, you can do it through this wizard right here. So here's the land use shape file, mapping the land use code, and we'll finish that. And then it's going to do the same thing for the soil file and set up the soil coverage, mapping our hydrologic soil group and other variables, and we'll finish that. And so that, now let's choose next. We can go into compute GIS attributes, and you should have a table that you already created that would have the land use and soil, the curve numbers for the different land use and soil. I think I have one in another folder. Let's go up. I'm going to check my other Dry Canyon folder, and yeah, I have some already mapped, so I will use those to calculate my curve number. You'll want to save your report, file, save as, put that in my Dry Canyon. Let's see, let's go up. I'm going to go into Dry Canyon 2 where I'm working on this, and I'll save my CN report so that I can put that in later. Hopefully you've already done that. Okay, and now at this point you can say File, Save Project. And this is essentially the point that you should be at. You probably don't need the shape files anymore. You could eliminate them. I'm also going to eliminate the TIFF file. Oop. I guess we'll choose remove. Okay. And I'm going to activate the drainage coverage. If you might remember the other thing that we did in class, if you go here to the cleanup model, don't need to worry about the model checker right now, but you could clean up everything else. I'm going to go to 3 times this, so about 45 meter spacing, and close that. And then I'm going to save once more. This is kind of where you should be at this point. It has a curve number defined. You have your precipitation data that you're ready to enter. And now you're ready to run your hydrologic model. So I'm going to close that. Stop this recording for now. This is just to help you catch up to that point if you aren't here yet.